Hi, this is Carmen Geddes, and welcome to Tensisters TV. I'm so excited. We're going to talk more about our Tensisters Totes today, give you a few more tips on this really fun project. Now, if you are new to the Tensisters Tote, just know that we are piecing it on our Easy Piecing grid. This is a 2-panel project, which I'll explain, and you can make it in 4 different sizes. So our Easy Piecing grid is printed in 4 sizes, labeled by the finished size of the square, which means you have a 2-inch finished, a 1.5-inch finished, a 1-inch finished, all the way down to our little 1/2-inch finished totes, and which we'll talk about those again too. Now the tote, we're calling it a tote booklet. This is a nice step-by-step instruction in the booklet. When you purchase this Tensisters Tote, it comes with 2 panels of the 1.5-inch finish, which is going to make this size. This is a really great size that everybody needs. It comes with the panels inside, and then if you want to make the other sizes, then you can just get more panels. And so we'll talk about that at the end, about where you can find Easy Piecing Grid. So if you are new, like I said, to Easy Piecing Grid, this is a lightweight iron-on foundation that we print a grid on it. And we print it, like I said, in 4 sizes. This is the 1.5-inch finished. That means you're going to use 2-inch cut squares. And so just a few tips on this tote pattern. And also all the tips that I give you basically apply to all the projects with Easy Piecing Grid. I think that's kind of the fun news. The most important thing you want to remember is that you are going to have that fusible side up, so you can feel that bumpy side. The other thing that you will notice when you're piecing on Easy Piecing Grid is when the fusible side is up, the logos are backwards and the numbers that are printed across the top are legible, and that will let you know that that bumpy side is up. You are going to iron your squares down. Now, because we print in panels, the way we design all of our projects are also by the panel. And so this is the same with our Tensisters Tote. And if I want to show you, when I design any project, I call it a layout, because essentially we are taking the quilt, or we are taking the tote, and we are laying it out in panels. So you'll see I gave you a couple of examples here on in the booklet, and you have panel 1 and panel 2. I gave you some examples of different ways that you can lay out your squares. Of course, I think Scrappy is probably my favorite, but you'll see panel 1 and panel 2. One thing I do want to note about this layout is notice these grayed out areas. Now, these grayed out areas means you are not going to iron squares in those areas, because those areas are going to become your box corner of your outer tote. The other thing that I wanted to point out is when you're laying this out to do it, I have my panel laid out horizontally, and so then I want to look at my pattern horizontally, if that makes sense. And so that really makes a big difference. You want to look at your pattern the same way that your panel is laid out. Ask me why I'm giving you that tip. Yes, I have made that mistake before. And so then as you're laying out your squares, if this is going to be the top part, well, which is actually the bottom of the tote, but the top as far as my piecing, these 4 squares right here, I will usually just put a little X in those to remind myself to not put any squares in these. So that's tip number 1. And the other thing that I wanted to show you is, because this is a 2-panel project, here are my 2 panels. I wanted to show you. So this is the 1-inch finish that I'm working with right here. And I've got, here's panel 1 and here's panel 2. Now, and again, this tip applies to every Easy Piecing project, this same tip. So you could just sew up this panel separately both directions, and then sew this panel up both directions. But what I think makes it a lot more efficient, and personally I will go to great lengths not to pin, is just to fuse these 2 together. I do that even on the 2-inch finished, which that panel is going to be much bigger. but I think it's easier to fuse the two together. But just know that these two will be connected at the bottom, whether you sew each up separately and just pin them and sew them together. And I'm going to show you right now how I like to fuse. So on panel number 1, I've left the leftover foundation. I call this a little lip. I'm just leaving a little lip of the leftover foundation where these two are going to connect. And then notice also that I don't have any squares right here in these corners, right? So after you've ironed all your squares down, I guess one thing I should say is I like to trim all the excess foundation away. Cut it right next to the fabric all the way. Unless you're going to fuse, you will leave one little edge with a little bit of a lip on it. And so now if I was on my pressing board, then I could just, I'm going to match these two up. And the one nice thing about fusing your panels together, which is probably a little hard to see in this video, is I'm not necessarily matching up my squares, because as you can see, my cut squares are not cut perfectly. I am matching up the little tick marks and the little lines that I can see on the grid. So I can see a little bit of that dotted line, and that's going to help me line those up. Now, if I was on my pressing board, I could just match these two up, give this a good press, and fuse them together. But I think a little bit easier way is to take a glue stick, and I'm using the purple. You want to make sure you're using a washable school glue stick. These are starch based, and I do like to use the white a lot, but this purple's kind of nice because then you can see it. And so I'm just putting that glue on the lip, and then I'm going to match these two up, and matching every now and then I can see the little dotted lines, and that is what I'm matching up. And just give that a little finger press. Now my iron is not hot, so we're pretending. And I'm going to just heat set this. Nice hot iron. I do generally like to use steam. Now the steam on the glue will bring in moisture, so just a hot dry iron is going to heat set those two. And so now you have one piece that you are going to sew. And so when it comes time to sew, you can start sewing this direction first, or you can start sewing this direction first. It doesn't matter which. I just out of habit, I sew, I guess from top to top of the tote, I sew this direction first. So I have that short seam, another short seam. So you're just going to fold it on that fold line. I like to do a little back stitch at the beginning and the end of these seams. And then you are going to just sew your seams going through that panel, well, through the whole section, the two panels. Sew all your seams going in one direction. After you sew those seams, I just want to show you a little bit of the next step. And we do have lots of videos on this clipping and pressing and different tips and techniques for the clipping and pressing. But just so you can see a visual, this is the seam that you just sewed. Let me flip this way. So this is the seam that you just sewed, and you are going to take your scissors and you're going to snip right between each of these squares right up to the stitch line, which I've already done. If you happen to snip through the stitching, don't worry, because it's all held together by this foundation, so it's not going to shift or move. But the reason why you are doing that snip is so that we can press these seam allowances going in opposite directions, so that when you do fold right sides together to sew the other way, look what happens. Those are automatically nested perfectly. So no pinning, no adjusting. You're just going to sew your seam going that other direction through your tote, and then this is how it's going to turn out. Ta-da! So this is 2 panels of the 1.5 inch finished. And totally scrappy, which I just love. But one thing that we talked about in a previous video is once you have finished this outer tote, actually let me back up just a second. I'm going to show you this back. And so when you are finished sewing the second seam, then you're going to press all those seams in one direction. And my best tip for easy piecing grid when you are pressing your seams is use steam. The steam does two things. It really helps with the fusing, but it also keeps this foundation nice and soft. So for me, especially if I'm talking about a quilt top, it's all about the quilting. I want a really nice pliable quilt top that is going to be easy to quilt, and you will love quilting with Easy Piecing Grid. But you want to make sure that you bring in that steam. It makes a big difference. Now, you'll see that I pressed all these seams in one direction, but one little spot I want to talk about is right at these boxed corners. See, this is going to become your boxed corner. I pressed all these seams in one direction except right at the edge here. So if all these seams are going in this direction, if I pressed this seam going in this direction, it's going to want to fold this. Let me move it up here so you can see a little bit better. This seam allowance would want to be folded over like this. And just for sewing up the boxed corner purpose, I have pressed this one. Well, actually, it looks like I pressed this one too. This one didn't need to be pressed this way. I think it was just easier. And so you're going to press them all in one direction, but I will say when you get down to that box corner, when you're pressing them, if that wants to fold over that seam allowance, I'm just pressing that one seam the other way. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, one thing that we were talking about in the previous video is when you're finished sewing this outer tote, this becomes your pattern for your stabilizer, whether it's the foam stabilizer or batting or flannel, whatever type of stabilizer you want to use, and also your lining. But I want to back up a step from that first video. This is the stage where I will quilt this outer tote. If you want to quilt it, this is the point where you will quilt it. And so I will use this to cut out the stabilizer, but I will wait until after it's quilted to cut out the lining, because quilting this is most likely going to shrink it in just a tad. And so one little tip, after it's all quilted, I will basically size this up and make sure that my side seams are the same, and going across the top of the tote, make sure that measures the same length after it's quilted. And if they're off by a quarter of an inch or whatever, just a little steam is going to shape those back in. So then after this is quilted, then you will use this as your pattern for your lining. Which brings up a good point. When you are quilting this, it will be the outer tote and your stabilizer, batting, foam, whatever you're using, but not the lining. The lining is a separate piece that's going to be set into that bag. And the good news about that is the only time we're going to be adding binding is on the top of this tote. We're not doing binding on the inside. So it's a fully sewn lining that's going to be set in, which we'll show in the next video. So those are a couple of tips that I wanted to let you know, and I love your feedback. I've loved seeing pictures of the totes that you all have made. They are turning out so beautiful. And so I hope that if you like this video, you will share it. You can subscribe to our channel and like our video, all the fun things. There's a little notification bell that you can click so you'll know when we get new videos done. Oh, there's one more thing I wanted to tell you real quick. The Tensisters Tote, there's always one more thing. It is a 2-panel project, but what you're going to notice when you read the sizing on the back is that the 1/2 inch finished, which aren't these just the cutest little things, the 1/2 inch finished, you can get 2 of these out of 1 panel of 1/2 inch finished, because the 1/2 inch finished panel, instead of being 9 by 14 squares like all the rest of the panels, it is 18 by 28. So it's a nice size panel that actually has 4 times as many squares. And so you actually can make 2 of these. Which brings me to where you can find Easy Piecing Grid. So Tensisters.com is our website. We also have a locator map that you can put your zip code in to find a quilt shop near you that carries Easy Piecing Grid. And check out our new sampler pack. The sampler pack has 2 panels of the 3 sizes of easy piecing grid and 1 panel of the 1/2 inch. So if you want to make the tote in all the sizes or just try all the different sizes, try our new sampler pack. And so thanks so much for watching the video. I'd love your feedback. Please give us your questions and any feedback you have. And we'll see you next time on Tensisters TV.